All right, guys, I got a little bit of a mystery here from a lock collector up in Pennsylvania, Mr. Klein. That's what we're going to call him. He says, well, first of all, let's take a look at the lock. It is an age, he calls it an age model 423. And I think that's because we have like 423 stamped over here. But I believe that might be an inspection number or perhaps even something to do with the bidding code. I really don't know. Probably a model 32. Says no something 2 block. That's got a little casting defect. So let's call it a no love 2 block. Patented. Made in Japan. About suitcase size. When you look at this little guy, though, it's a little bit out of the ordinary. And that's reflected in his letter. Let me set this down. It says, I'm writing to you with a suggestion of basically a locksmith in Pennsylvania. That locksmith, who has about 30 years of experience as a lock collector and professional locksmith, inspected the enclosed age padlock and was completely mystified by it. In fact, all of the 25 to 30-year locksmiths I've shown this padlock to have failed to identify the padlock and were unable to pick it because it has no cylinder, and their picking tools were not suited for the picking demands. The locksmith advised me this was a task for Bosnianbill. He also said you may make a video tutorial about this lock based on its unique characteristics. And here we are making a video. It says, like to get 2 or 3 keys made for it, but I haven't discovered anybody that has the blanks or the ability to make it for this age padlock. Whether or not you're successful in solving this mystery padlock, I'm eager to have it back, and he's willing to pay. You don't have to do that. I'd be happy to pay to return this to you, sir, just for the fact that you loaned it to me. It's an act of trust. As I said, as attested to by the locksmith, if you can't open a padlock, nobody can. Thank you for your assistance. All right, I don't know if that last statement is entirely true. And I say that because I've actually picked a lock very similar to this. It was slightly larger, and so I kind of have an idea of how it works. This one did not come with a key, obviously. That's why he wants some keys. When you look at this, though, it doesn't, I mean, we got a shackle and everything, but obviously it doesn't pull straight up. There's a pin here, so it must rotate along that axis. When you look at it, you can see it turns just a little bit. Okay, there's no, aside from that slit, there are no other openings on this. But when you look closely, let me get this box and everything out of the way here, grab a flashlight. When you look in there, you can actually see there are concentric discs down inside of there. And I'm going to have to put the light down. Let me grab a tool here. Indeed, I can understand why this is pretty rare lock. You don't really, a lot of people have never even seen these. I think I'm lucky to have seen one in my lifetime. When you touch these, they are spring-loaded. So these would be the pins. They're just not the normal pins that we're used to. When I take and mash one of these, let me see if I can even get this to show up on the camera. I'm going to mash the outer ring. And when I do that, they're very thin. I've got to turn that pick sideways. You'll notice that it goes down on both sides. So this is a ring or a piece of tubing on the outside, and then there's a piece of tubing in the center, and in the center, the very middle, is a little plunger. So these are the pins, and those are nothing. So these 2 pieces here are nothing but the body of the lock. So the actual lock pinning are those 3 discs. It's just a little bit odd. Now we got to find a way to tension it. Now we could clamp this up. I could put a top of the keyway tensioner in the top of that, and it would probably, it would tension it just fine. But I'm not going to do that. This is probably something you'd find on like a suitcase, because that's really about the size this thing is. I'm going to take my finger, and I believe if I push with my thumb, it'll pull my finger back, twisting this side, and the top of my finger will then push the shackle the other way. Now, I don't know which way this lock turns. I'm making a guess here. I think that will work. All right, so let's give it a shot. Let me get this light out of here. I'm putting tension on the core, hopefully tensioning the pins or the discs. I'm going to find a binder. I wonder if I can zoom in just a little bit. Now I'm going to find a binder. He's binding. He's binding. And he's springy. So I got too much tension. Let me lighten up a little bit. Try that again. Okay, binding. Okay, springy and springy. So the outer ring is binding first. So let's push him. Maintaining my tension on my finger. And I felt a click. I don't know if you heard that. And the core turns. See, we had a little offset there. So we're part of the way there. We're headed down the right track. All right, the center piece is still springy, so I'm going to go after the center ring, or the middle ring. Again, a click and a slight, another little offset. So again, we're on the right track. Maintaining my tension, though. Try that. Okay, he is now binding. And now we have, get my finger out of there, and open. No, we don't. Okay, it is open, but I chose the wrong direction, obviously. All right, so there is a partial open. Let's just lock him back up. Let's pick him the right way. And this requires me to put another finger in there. For some reason, I'm right-handed, so my right finger is more muscular. Yeah, that's it. Muscular. Let me wipe that oil off of it, and we'll try it this way. All right, so again, tension. I don't know if it's going to bind in the same order. A little odd picking with my, okay, I felt a click. Picking with my offhand. Okay, another click, and we have an offset. And if this doesn't open, that's going to tell me that there are false gates in this thing, and that would be awkward. And there we go. All right, is it open? It is not open. All right, so I'm going to maintain tension on that, and I'm betting one of these discs just popped up on me. There it is, right there. So I bet this would open either way. So it goes both ways. Kind of like my brother-in-law. It can turn left or right. Really doesn't care. But let's take a look. This is now the shear line. This is the shear line, the middle of the lock. And when you look in here, here are the 3 discs on the other side. So these would be the equivalent of driver pins, and they are still spring-loaded, as you can see. So we need to bring all these guys to the shear line. But when we look over here, you'll notice, I'm going to tip them down so that they're all flush here, just like they were to begin with. Notice how these are different heights. They're cut to different heights. And that would be the same thing as having pins, a pin tumbler lock, cut to different heights. So pretty cool. We have to push all of these so that they're flush here, and they're forcing these guys to be flush. Only then will it turn. Now here's what I'm really curious about. When I picked him the other way, why did he only go that far? And that's because he gets stuck there. So let's try it. Again, it's the center piece, and there you go. It truly is a bidirectional lock. It was my error. Anyway, there you go. I'm going to leave this open for you, sir. I don't know where you will be able to get any keys for this. I don't know anybody that makes blanks. I've never known anybody to cut keys for these, but at least this way you'll be able to decode it. Perhaps you can cut a flat piece of steel or some improvised tool. Anyway, Mr. Klein, I appreciate it. Guys, I appreciate your time. Stay safe. Stay legal.
LockLab, where the fun begins.